What's going on, guys? The last two lessons will be all about the past. In this lesson, 11, we will focus on regular and irregular verbs. And in lesson 12, we will master the verb be in past. Let's get started. As you can see, the auxiliary did can be used with all 7 pronouns without worrying about adding s's, like we do in present tenses. Simple present and simple past are the only 2 tenses where we don't have to use the auxiliary do or did when making affirmative statements. You can conjugate the pronouns with verbs without using an auxiliary. Example, I went. Como pueden ver, el auxiliar did puede ser usado con los 7 pronombres sin preocuparnos por añadir s's, como lo hacemos en los tiempos presentes. El presente simple y el pasado simple son los únicos 2 tiempos donde no tenemos que usar un auxiliar do or did cuando hacemos oraciones afirmativas. Podemos conjugar los pronombres con los verbos sin usar un auxiliar. Por ejemplo, I went, not I did go, though it can be done when reassuring, aunque puede ser hecho cuando reafirmamos. Ejemplo, I did go, sí fui. So, whenever we have a negative statement or a question, we will usually use the auxiliary do or does in blue for the simple present or did for the simple past in green. For example, I didn't go, or did you go? So, just as in the simple present, the verbs are always used in simple form when making questions or negative statements. But when making affirmative statements in blue, the only thing we have to worry about is if we add an s or not, for all singular nouns except you and I, para el presente simple. Y si es verde, and if it's green, the verb goes in past. El verbo va en pasado. We are going to begin with regular verbs first. Vamos a empezar con verbos regulares primero, which represents 65% of all verbs, in a dark green color, en un color verde oscuro. Estos son los fáciles. These are the easy ones. To change them to past, we only need to add ed. Para cambiarlos a pasado, solo debemos de añadir ed. Then, with irregular verbs, después, con verbos irregulares, los cuales solo son el 35%, which are only 35% of all verbs, los veremos en un verde claro. We will learn these by sounds. Aprenderemos estos por sonidos en nuestra playlist de verbos. We will begin to review them after lesson 12. So, I lived has no auxiliary. Viví no tiene ningún auxiliar because it's an affirmative statement, porque es un enunciado afirmativo. So, in this case, the past tense relies on the verb. Así que en este caso, el tiempo pasado recae en el verbo. That's why it's lit in green. Es por eso que está encendido de verde. However, como sea, we may ask information questions that refer to the subject of the question. También podemos preguntar preguntas de información que se refieren al sujeto de la pregunta. Usually, what and who. Usualmente, qué y quién. In this case, the questions will have no auxiliary and no pronoun. Más bien, a relative pronoun. Un pronombre relativo en vez de, instead. In this case, who. And the verb will be lit in green. El verbo será encendido en verde. For example, who lived here, añadiendo ed al verbo en caso de verbos regulares o cambiando el verbo completamente en caso de los irregulares. In this type of questions, we don't use an auxiliary nor a pronoun because we don't know who or what it is. En este caso no usamos auxiliar ni pronombre porque no sabemos quién o cuál el sujeto es. Or who or what does the action, o quién o qué hace la acción. For example, ¿quién vivió aquí? Who lived here? She lived here. Or, who teaches English? ¿Quién enseña inglés? She teaches English. But in general, en general, cuando sabemos quién hace la acción, tendremos un sujeto o pronombre y por lo tanto un auxiliar. Where did you go? I went to school. Practiquémoslo con she. Where did she go? She went to school. Where did she live? She lived in England. Did she live there a long time? ¿Vivió ella ahí un largo tiempo? Podemos contestar que sí o que no. Yes, she did, or no, she didn't. She didn't live here a long time. ¿Quién vivió aquí? Who lived here? She lived here. Who teaches English? She teaches English. What else does she teach? She teaches math too. Who taught English yesterday? She taught English yesterday. What else did she teach? She also taught math yesterday. What did she do yesterday? She taught English and math. What did you do yesterday? I worked like a monkey. Let's begin. Antes de iniciar con los verbos irregulares, practiquemos preguntas y respuestas sí o no con algunos regulares y afinemos nuestras T's para pronunciar el tiempo pasado en verbos que terminan en estos sonidos. K, p, s, ch, sh, and x. Estos opacan el sonido suave de la D en verbos regulares con ed al final, por lo cual pronunciaremos el sonido chispa de la T para reafirmar que sí está en pasado el verbo regular. Diciendo entonces para like, liked. Recuerda que si el verbo ya lleva una E al final, solo añadiremos la D al final. Recuerda que la E al final es muda. Stop, stopped. Al igual que cuando añadimos ing a los verbos, ed no debe alterar el sonido original del verbo. A verbos de una sola sílaba con una vocal rodeada por consonantes, como en stop, duplica la última consonante para indicar que el sonido de la O de stop es corto. Otro ejemplo es slip, slipped, dance, danced, dress, dressed, wash, washed, work, worked. Let's begin with the first one. What did you do yesterday? I worked. What did you do yesterday? I cooked Spanish food. What did she do yesterday? She washed her car. What did he do yesterday? He fixed his bicycle. What did she do yesterday? She brushed her teeth. What did you do yesterday? I watched TV. What did she do yesterday? She typed a lot of emails. What did she do yesterday? She danced. What did he do yesterday? He baked a cake. What did Grandma do yesterday? She cleaned the house. What did you do yesterday? I played the piano. What did Emma do yesterday? She yawned, bostezó. What did you do yesterday? I listened to music. Recuerda que listen siempre va con to. What did your dad do yesterday? He shaved. What did you do yesterday? I smiled. What did Carol do yesterday? She cried. Nota que con los verbos que acaban en Y, cambiaremos la Y por una I latina y añadiremos ed. Intentemos con otra. What did you do yesterday? I studied for my test. Te preguntarás entonces, ¿qué hacemos cuando el verbo termina en los mismos sonidos para pasado? De, como en need, o te, como en want. La D y la T son los que usamos precisamente para identificar el pasado de los verbos regulares. En este caso haremos lo mismo que hacemos al pluralizar palabras que terminan en S, como en glasses, o al singularizar verbos como dance, dances, o dress, dresses. Al usar verbos regulares en pasado que terminen en D o T, también pronunciaremos la E en ed al final. Diciendo entonces para need, que termina en D, needed, y en want, que termina en T, wanted. Let's practice a few more regular verbs. Veamos verbos que acaban en T. What did she do yesterday? She shouted. En este caso sí pronunciamos la ed. She shouted. What did Tommy do yesterday? He rested the whole day, or the entire day. Descansó el entero día. What did you do yesterday? I planted flowers. What did you do yesterday? I waited for the bus. Good job, guys. Contestemos las siguientes preguntas sí o no, con las respuestas sí o no con verbos regulares. Did you brush your hair this morning? No, I didn't. I brushed my teeth. Did you wash your windows? No, I didn't. I washed my car. Did she paint her kitchen last night? No, she didn't. She painted her bedroom. Did you play tennis yesterday afternoon? No, we didn't. We played basketball. Did they study English yesterday morning? No, they didn't. They studied Chinese. Did she bake a pie yesterday evening? No, she didn't. She baked a cake. Did she listen to the news this morning? No, she didn't. She listened to music. Now let's practice irregular verbs. Noten que estos verbos van en un verde más claro. Did you go to the bank this afternoon? No, we didn't. We went to the supermarket. Did you take the subway this morning? No, I didn't. I took the bus. Did you have a headache last night? No, I didn't. I had a backache. Did Wanda wake up at 9 today? No, she didn't. She woke up at 7. Did your children make dinner today? No, they didn't. They made breakfast. Did Michael buy a car last week? No, he didn't. He bought a bicycle. Did they do their homework last night? No, they didn't. They did their exercises. Did Ed write to his girlfriend last month? No, he didn't. He wrote to his grandma last month. Did you read the newspaper this evening? No, I didn't. I read the Bible. Notice how sequence is very important when we talk in simple past. Noten cómo la secuencia es muy importante cuando platicamos en pasado simple. Más adelante aprenderemos que para romper la secuencia en la que relatamos hechos desde el principio hasta llegar al presente o al final, podemos usar past perfect, el morado. Con este podemos irnos hacia atrás en el pasado. Repeat after me and notice how we talk in sequence. Repitan después de mí y noten cómo hablamos en secuencia. Yesterday I got up at 6, took a shower, had breakfast, read the newspaper, did exercises and ate lunch. Then I drove to the mall, I bought groceries, made dinner, wrote a letter, saw a movie, and finally I went to sleep. Now, let's read about what each person did yesterday. Notice how we talk in sequence again. Hablemos de lo que hizo esta gente el día de ayer. Noten cómo hablamos en secuencia del pasado hasta llegar al presente. For example, Betty fixed her car yesterday morning. She washed her windows and listened to music. Bob read the newspaper yesterday morning. He went to the library and wrote a letter. Nick and Nancy went to the supermarket. They bought a new car and cleaned their house. Jennifer did her exercises this morning. She planted flowers and took a bath. También podemos usarlo para explicar por qué pasaron cosas previamente. I'm sorry I'm late. I missed the bus. Ya veo, I see. I'm sorry I'm late. Siento estar tarde o siento que estoy tarde. I'm sorry I'm late. I had a bad headache. I'm sorry I'm late. I had to go to the doctor. Tuve que ir al doctor. I'm sorry I'm late. I forgot my briefcase. Olvidé mi portafolio. I'm sorry I'm late. A thief came and stole my bicycle. I'm sorry I'm late. I missed the bus. All right, now let's do our reading. Let's talk about Victor's story. Late for work. Victor usually gets up at 7 a.m. He does his morning exercises for 20 minutes. He takes a long shower, he has a big breakfast, and leaves for work at 8. Parte para el trabajo a las 8. He normally drives his car to work and gets there at 8:30. Normalmente conduce su carro al trabajo y llega ahí a las 8:30. Get no nada más significa comprar, también es llegar. This morning, however, esta mañana como sea, he didn't get up at 7 a.m. He got up at 6:30. He didn't do his morning exercises for 20 minutes. He did them for only 5 minutes. He didn't take a long shower. He took a very quick shower. He didn't have a big breakfast. He had a very small one. He didn't leave for work at 8. He left for work at 7. Victor didn't drive his car to work. Or Victor did not drive his car to work this morning. He drove it to the repair shop. Lo condujo al taller mecánico. Then, entonces, o después, he walked a mile to the train station and he walked for the train for 15 minutes. After he got off the train, he walked half a mile to his office. Even though Victor got up early and rushed out of the house this morning, A pesar de que even though Victor got up early and rushed out of the house this morning, he didn't get to work on time. He got there 45 minutes late. When his supervisor saw him, she shouted at him for 5 minutes. Poor Victor. He really tried to get to work on time this morning. Él realmente intentó llegar al trabajo a tiempo esta mañana. So, let's do the checkup. What time does Victor get up? He usually gets up at 7 a.m. Did he get up at 7 today? No, he didn't. Number 3. What time did he get up? He got up at 6:30. What time does he leave for work? He usually leaves for work at 8. Did he leave for work at 8? No, he didn't. What time did he leave for work? He left for work at 7. Did he drive his car to the repair shop today? Yes, he did. How did he get to the train station? He walked to the train station. Did he get to work on time? No, he didn't. Did his supervisor get angry at him? Yes, she did. What did she do? She shouted at him for 5 minutes. All right, now let's try to make these sentences true. Para hacer estas oraciones verdaderas, quizá tenemos que afirmar o negar en pasado. Nota que cuando afirmamos, el verbo va en pasado. Cuando negamos, utilizaremos siempre didn't y el verbo principal en su forma simple. So, number 1, he got up at 7 or he didn't get up at 7? That is correct. He didn't get up at 7 today. He got up at 6:30. Good job. Number 2, he did his exercises for 20 minutes or he didn't do his exercises for 20 minutes today? Correct. He didn't do his exercises for 20 minutes today. He did them for only 5 minutes. He took a very quick shower this morning or he didn't take a very quick shower this morning? Correct. He took a very quick shower this morning. Number 4, he left for work at 8 this morning or he didn't leave for work at 8 this morning. Correct. He didn't leave for work at 8 this morning. Number 5, he took the train to work today or he didn't take the train to work today? Correct. He took the train to work today. Number 6, he got to work on time or he didn't get to work on time? Correct. He didn't get to work on time. All right, now let's complete the story with the correct form of the verbs. Buy, su pasado es bought. Eat, con su pasado ate. Get, con su pasado got. Take, con su pasado took. Make, made. See, saw. Sit, sat. Go, went. Let's begin. Shirley enjoyed her day off yesterday. She got up at 7, went jogging in the park, took a long shower, and ate a big breakfast. In the afternoon, she saw a movie with her sister. Then she bought groceries at the supermarket and she made a big dinner for her parents. After dinner, Shirley and her parents sat in the living room and talked. Shirley had a very nice day off yesterday. Day off es un día libre. All right. Good job, guys. Let's talk to someone about how we feel, and then review different pains and aches. Platiquemos con alguien acerca de cómo nos sentimos y repasemos algunos dolores. Nota las similitudes entre el presente simple y el pasado. Here we go. How does David feel today? Not so good. What's the matter? He has a backache. How did he get it? He played basketball all day. What's wrong? How does Brian feel today? Not so good. What's wrong? He has a sore throat. How did he get it? He talked on the phone all afternoon. How does Linda feel today? Not so good. What's the matter? She has a backache. How did she get it? She danced all evening. How does Kim feel today? Not so good. What's wrong? She has a headache. How did she get it? She studied all night. Nota cómo la Y se pasa a I latina. How does Gary feel today? Not so good. What's the matter? He has an earache. How did he get it? He played loud music all night. Tocó música fuerte toda la noche. How does Megan feel today? Not so good. What's wrong? She has a cold. How did she get it? It rained yesterday and she got wet. Y se mojó. Recuerda que get hace que los adjetivos como wet se conviertan en verbo. Si wet es mojado, mojarse es get wet. Y en pasado, she got wet. Se mojó. How does Charlie feel today? Not so good. What's the matter? He has a sore throat. How did he get it? He shouted all day. Gritó todo el día. How does Miss Clark feel today? Not so good. What's wrong? She has a headache. How did she get it? Her baby cried all night. How do you feel today? Not so good. What's the matter? I have an earache. How did you get it? ¿Cómo lo tuviste? The dog barked all day. Perro ladró todo el día. How does Tim feel today? Not so good. What's wrong? He has a backache. How did he get it? He planted flowers all day. How does Daniel feel today? Not so good. What's the matter? He has a toothache. How did he get it? He ate candy all week. How does Jenny feel today? Not so good. What's wrong? She has a sore throat. How did she get it? She sang all morning. Cantó toda la mañana. How do you feel today? Not so good. What's the matter? I have a toothache. How did you get it? I drank too much soda yesterday. How does Sarah feel today? Not so good. What's wrong? She has a backache. How did she get it? She sat all evening. How do you feel today? Not so good. What's the matter? I have a stomachache. How did you get it? I had too many cookies. How does Jake feel today? Not so good. What's wrong? He has a backache. How did he get it? He rode his bicycle all afternoon. All right, now imagine that you're not feeling well y quieres hacer una cita. Hagamos un roleplay llamado Do you want to make an appointment? You don't feel well today. No te sientes bien hoy. Call the doctor's office and make an appointment. Doctor's office. Hello, this is John. Hello, Mr. John. How are you? Not so good. I'm sorry to hear that. What seems to be the problem? ¿Qué parece ser el problema? I planted flowers all day yesterday, and now I have a terrible backache. I see. Do you want to make an appointment? Yes, please. Can you come in tomorrow at 7? At 7? Sure, that's fine. Let's do our final reading. Nota cómo estaremos hablando en secuencia, con el pasado simple. The Wilsons' party. Mr. and Mrs. Wilson invited all their friends and neighbors to a party last night. They stayed home all day yesterday and prepared for the party. In the morning, the Wilsons worked outside. Their daughter Margaret cleaned the yard. Their son Bob painted the fence. Mrs. Wilson planted flowers in the garden, and Mr. Wilson fixed their broken steps. Compuso sus escalones rotos. In the afternoon, the Wilsons worked inside the house. Margaret washed the floors and vacuumed the living room carpet. Vacuum es aspirar. Recuerda, en los colores con el verde oscuro solamente añadiremos ed. And vacuumed the living room carpet, el tapete de la sala. Bob dusted the furniture and cleaned the basement. Despolvó los muebles y limpió el sótano. Mr. and Mrs. Wilson stayed in the kitchen. He cooked the spaghetti for dinner and she baked apple pies for dessert. They finished all their work at 6. Their house looked beautiful inside and out, adentro y por fuera. When the guests arrived at about 7:30, they all sat in the living room. They ate cheesecake and crackers, drank lemonade, and talked about their children and about how beautiful the house looked. The Wilsons served dinner in the dining room at 9. Everybody liked the food. They all asked for seconds. Por segundos platillos. After dinner, everybody sat in the living room again. First, Bob played the piano and his sister sang. Then, Mr. and Mrs. Wilson showed the video of their trip to Hawaii. After that, después de eso, and then, they turned on the music and danced. As you can see, the Wilsons' guests enjoyed the party a lot. In fact, nobody wanted to go home. All right, now let's do the checkup. What did Margaret and Bob do in the morning? She cleaned the yard and he painted the fence. What did Mr. and Mrs. Wilson prepare in the afternoon? He cooked the spaghetti and she baked apple pies for dessert. When did the guests arrive? ¿Cuándo arribaron o llegaron los invitados? They arrived at about 7:30, alrededor de las 7:30. Where did the guests sit after they arrived? They sat in the living room. What did they eat and drink before dinner? They ate cheese and crackers and drank lemonade. What did Margaret do after dinner? She sang. What did Mr. and Mrs. Wilson do after dinner? They showed a video of their trip to Hawaii. Good job, guys. In the comments, tell about a party you enjoyed. Cuéntanos acerca de una fiesta que disfrutaste. Responden en los comentarios a qué hora llegaste. What time did you arrive? ¿Qué vestiste? What did you wear? ¿Qué comiste? What did you eat? ¿Qué bebiste? What did you drink? ¿Qué hizo la gente? What did people do? ¿Y a qué hora te fuiste? What time did you leave? Awesome, guys. Get ready for our next lesson 12 as we see the verb be in simple past with was and were. See you soon. Cheers, everyone.